welcome to the Team Lawson channel. I'm Theresa.
I'm Mike.
And we're millennials and we're making it. On our channel, we discuss all things that meet within the intersection of millennial marriage and special needs parenting.
We also want to create a community that's both inclusive and encouraging.
So today we're going to talk about grief and how not fun it is and how you can deal with it in your marriage as an individual and with your child and as a family. So, backstory. How far do we have to go back?
Well, I won't tell the story.
No, wait. Go back further.
Go back further. What you mean?
To how many?
Oh, last year?
Yeah.
Last year, man. So I guess my 2020 started
in 2019.
In 2019, yeah. In July, I had an aunt that passed last year, July. Unexpectedly. And then a few weeks later in August, my grandmother passed. And then maybe a month or two after, I had an uncle that passed.
And then fast forward to this year, my father has open heart surgery. Mm-hmm. No, last year, grief started for us too. I have an aunt who is dealing with cancer. Is battling that. And then I have a father who had a heart attack, open heart surgery, all of the things. And so dealing with the far-reaching effects of grief in your extended family. It's been tough. Yeah. I don't know that we've always handled it the best, but we've tried to handle it. I'll give us that much. So, let's go back to last year. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, we got to go back further. When did my grandmother pass? 2019 or 2018?
I think 19.
Has it been?
Yes. I think
2
it's been
years?
A year. I'm not
sure. It may have been 2018.
I thought it was last year.
Was it last year?
I don't know.
Time is, forgive me, family, if I don't know. It just feels like it's just been on and on and on. So, I had a grandmother who passed, who I loved very dearly, but we didn't have the closest relationship. I met her, been to visit her three times. Once I was hi, Tree. Once I was small, 4 years old, so I don't have a whole lot of recollection from that, except for the fact that I ended up in the hospital in New York, and my uncle was trying to cheer me up. I was really sick. But she passed, and I had a lot of guilt surrounding her grief because I was not as close to her. My husband and child hadn't gotten to meet her because it's been almost a decade since I've been out there. Please. And then he does that. He makes me feel more guilty about the fact that he didn't get a chance to meet her before she passed. And then your grandmother passed, and I'd actually gotten a chance to develop. See, this is what he does to me, to develop a relationship with her, and I loved her dearly, and just compounding that grief on top of the fact that I lost my grandmother, who I didn't know. I probably knew your grandmother better than I knew my own. And the grief of not knowing her in the way that, and not being able to grieve her in the way that I wanted to grieve her because I didn't know her. Mm-hmm. I was more grieving the loss of having a closer relationship with her. So how was it for you losing your grandmother? And she was like a giant of a lady. Not big, but like in spirit, just a giant of a lady. And such a presence in our family, I think.
I think for me, I had a mix of emotions. I was angry. Mm-hmm. I was sad, you know what I'm saying?
Because for us, it was, first your aunt first. Because your aunt we lost first.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating. It was unexpected. Yeah. She'd had some heart trouble before. But just the way that she left here was so sad. Mm. And then losing grandmother so soon after. Because it wasn't a couple months.
Yeah, a couple months.
It wasn't but a couple months.
No, it was a month, a few weeks.
Was it a few weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. And her health declined very quickly.
Yeah.
It was so, it seemed sudden to us. I don't know, did anybody else have any idea that she was ailing?
But wait, that she was what?
Ailing. Sick.
Everybody knew she was sick, but we didn't know it was to the extent it was until until the doctor told us.
I'm talking about before your aunt passed. Was there any inclination that she was sick? And towards the end of life?
I don't know.
We didn't. I didn't have any
don't think
inclination.
so.
It just seemed like her daughter passed and then she fell sick and then she never recovered in a few weeks. That's what it felt like to me. Other people may have a different view on that.
She was sick before. We just didn't. We had to find out, because the older folks ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah. I wish they would. Give us some time to prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Make a few more visits. But they don't want us adjusting our lives for them.
No, they don't want us to worry.
Yeah. We were anyway.
Yeah.
And then your uncle passed.
Yeah.
And it felt, and it also felt suddenly for me. Yeah. And then in the midst of dealing with all that, Michael was going to stay with his mom a few days out because she lost her sister and a mom.
Well, I still do it though,
and he still does.
She, like I said, I think she's still dealing with it. I don't think she properly grieved yet. So
I think it's just one of those losing a mother. Losing your sister is one thing, but losing a mother and a sister in the same year is, I think, a process to deal with. In and of itself, it's like a unique process, and I think she will be dealing with it for some time, and that's okay. Like, and he goes and he stays with mom and hangs out with her a couple times a month. Just spends the night and kind of let
make her day.
Yeah,
I know that make her feel a little better.
To help her through that, and I think it helps you too
to
be around your mama too.
It do.
And I am absolutely okay with it because anything that helps him. I told him this last night when we were talking. Anything that helps you helps us. So, thank you for putting up with my husband for a few nights of the month, Mama.
She ain't putting up.
You a handful.
She be wanting me to come over there. I don't give her no problem. So
this year, while we were dealing with our own grief and then the family grieving, my father had a heart attack, open heart surgery. And so there is the grief. Why is it grief? And I can't put it into words.
Because there's a chance, with something like that. There's definitely a chance for them to leave from here.
And thankfully his surgery was successful. His recovery was successful. He's taking care of himself, which makes me happy and will help him to live a long and happy life. But I think there's also a death of a part of your relationship with your parents. Yeah. Like, you kind of look at them, you know that they're not always going to be there. But when something like that happens, you have to face the fact that you're old as Methuselah now. And so your parents begat Methuselah. And so they're a little bit older. And so they're not going to be there forever. Like, you miss being that little kid thinking that they are superheroes that can save the world. Because and it's at a certain point in your life, they are your world. Your world revolves around them. And theirs around you. But as you get older, you get further removed from that, and you have to deal with the fact that they will not always be here. That is an eventuality. And I know they pray to outlive their children, but I don't pine for the day when I have to live in a world without my parents. Nobody does. You can kind of look into what your mom was going through. I'm avoiding not having my parents here, but she can't avoid it, Is this video super sad? Because we're going to get to the part where we're doing better.
No, I'm doing... Oh, I thought you was asking me.
We're going to get to the part. Like, there's a somewhere over the rainbow part. And then, what happened next? Are we down to the most recent now?
I believe we
Then my aunt is still battling cancer, and so that's always scary. Yeah.
I just had a cousin just passed recently. Little cousin, man, he was young.
Yeah.
I won't get into the circumstances of it, man,
but it's sad.
It's sad. It is.
It is, and especially when someone dies that young. But and it affects all of the family and all the family that is still grieving. You know, like all of these deaths are still very recent. Have happened within the year, and so it's hard. You try your best to deal with it personally so that the people around you aren't dealing with it, but it doesn't make it easy to face it head on. So what have been the best things that have helped you personally over the year in dealing with all these situations?
You never stop thinking about those people, but I always try to do something to occupy my mind. So now recently I got back in the gym. I go to the gym, work out to clear my mind. If you're focusing on not dropping weights on yourself.
Yes. Please don't drop the weights on yourself.
No, I might play PlayStation here and there, shooting these videos.
Being productive, living your life, really.
I mean, trying to, so just just trying, things to get your mind clear or whatever.
I've gotten more into talking about how I feel. A lot of times, what I want to do is work through my feelings. And then talk about it after I've worked through them. But it has helped me to talk about them as I'm working through it. I may not have it figured out. I may be super raw. I may be slightly angry. But talking about how I feel more in the moment and going to counseling helps. But even with the people that I'm around, like talking about, and you want to make sure you're in a safe space to share your feelings, but I'm perfectly safe with you. And then I have friends that I can talk to. How are you doing today? Well, today, this is how I feel today. And talking about how I feel, in the moment has helped. And being able to talk about that with you has helped as well. Like, I wouldn't wish this type of grief or this extended grieving process on anyone. But if I got to go through it, it's nice to have somebody to go through it with, Yeah. I really hate that you have to go through it because it's been tough. What are some things that you have done that maybe have not been the best choice? I'll go first. Like, I will stew and vent in inappropriate ways. So I'll focus on little problems and make mountains out of molehills, basically, and vent my frustration or my sadness that way instead of being upfront and honest with how I feel about what I'm actually feeling it about. Trying to avoid the grief, blowing up about burning dinner or situations that go on at work, or letting little things become big things so I don't have to deal with the big things, because this is bigger, right? It's not. It's a little bitty thing and you're trying to avoid focusing on it.
Well, I think with me, I still kind of cry when certain people die, but I think with me is trying to, help everybody else be strong and hurting myself, you know what I'm saying? And, trying to seem like I'm all right, joking and things like that, but I'm still, even though I did my little crying, I'm still hurt on the inside. So,
yeah,
I think that's my issue. That's how I handled it wrong, I guess, trying to help everybody else when I'm still, hurting or whatever. But, I mean,
you gotta learn from it and do better next time. And
there ain't no next time.
God. But you know what? Like, there will be a next time. Like, we're getting older, right? And we're sure that there are a lot of people watching this who have been going through the same kind of constant. It's always been, 2020 has been, we still got a few months. I ain't gonna talk about it too bad. But it's been rough for a lot of people in a lot of ways, you know? And so hopefully us sharing the struggles that we had to go through this year can help somebody else, you know? Put into perspective what they're going through. I'm hungry. I need to eat. I have another appointment later. But I can help them put it into perspective what they're going through. Because it's just been 1 year, and this year will end. It will end. And at the end of the day, when you have the people that you love around you, it's so much better to focus on them than the bad that's going on. So, questions, comments, concerns? How are we doing working together as a team?
We're doing wonderful. We're doing excellent. We're communicating, especially on something like this. I think this video is helpful. So, that'll be my good.
That'll be your good.
That'll be my good.
What's my bad?
I think you said your bad in the video.
What? Oh yeah, the whole emotional thing. I've gotten quicker with the come to. So I'll have my rawr, but I'm like, wait, Theresa, that is not what you're upset about. Just say what you're upset about. But I haven't figured it out. Doesn't matter. Just say it. Thank you so much for being a place where I can come and talk to that stuff about. You know, and not holding over my head when I don't come to you immediately. Instead, I am rawr. Sorry about that.
You don't do no good.
What?
Hold it over your head.
That's true. Holding a grudge doesn't do any good to either of us. I would like you to be more vulnerable. I can't say that word. Vulnerable.
I'll work on being more blah blah blah.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. You just said it.
Yes.
Vulnerable.
With me, not with nobody else. They don't deserve your emotions.
What you mean? I still got a mom. Shoot.
Yeah, you can talk to your mom. She got stretch marks.
I got a
That's
sister
fine.
too.
Not all the stuff.
Man, that's my road. Brittany, I tell you everything.
No, we don't.
Brittany.
No, we don't.
Me and Brittany tell each other stuff that my mama don't know. What you mean?
I know that your mama don't know, but not that I don't know.
Joking.
He's not. He's for real. He tells us this stuff. He's gonna tell me. I wish you'd be telling me about a surprise. You'd be telling her about a surprise gift for me. I'd be okay with that.
Brittany, that's something we have to talk about. Document it. Write it down for me.
Brittany's like, I didn't ask for none of this. I ain't got to buy no surprise gift. All right. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching this video.
Also, don't forget our social medias. Team Lawson 225 on Instagram and on Facebook, Team Lawson. Like, share, subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell. Share this with people who may need it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people need this information.
We'll see you in the next video.
God bless you.